Hey everybody, we get a lot of questions about what are the top things that are being requested for right now in the online world? What are the things that if someone wants to get started as a virtual assistant right away and know that there's clients, businesses that are waiting for them, what kinds of things should they be able to do? So, and you can also kind of maybe if you're just getting started, you can gauge what the stuff is that you're doing and learning with what the list is that I'm gonna go through. So in this little mini class, I'm gonna actually go through the 5 top requested skills that we get for virtual assistants, people wanting to hire VAs. And I'm gonna go through the top 5 tools that we get a lot of requests for VAs to know as well. And they actually kind of go together. So we'll be able to connect those two for you. All right, so what are the first top 5 niches out there? Actually, before I do that, I want to make sure you know who I am. I'm Esther, CEO and founder of Virtual Assistant Internship, founder of the program 90 Day VA. I've been working online for 6 years. I was just a normal military spouse and mom, and I knew that there was something more for us. Since then, we've moved to Bali and we use it as a base to travel the world. I've helped, oh my gosh, it's like between 400 and 500 women now work online, which is amazing. So here we go. What are the 5 top requested skills? The first one that we get a lot of is called content repurposing. And content repurposing is basically when you're able to take a piece of video or a piece of audio or a podcast and you can turn it into something else. So you can take this video that Esther's recording and you can turn it into a blog post, or you can turn it into social media posts, or you can turn a podcast and make show notes from it for somebody so that the person who's the business owner only has to focus on creating that piece of content once. And then you as the virtual assistant can come in and help turn that into lots of different things. Because being a business owner means that you have to be on the YouTube and the Snapchat and the Facebook, and you have an email list. And so constantly having to come up with new content all the time is draining and exhausting. So if you can support the business owner in only having to make that piece once, and then you can do a whole bunch more with it for them, you'll be golden. Another really popular thing we get requests for is just social media support. And that would be simply taking posts and posting them on behalf of clients, posting them to Facebook, posting them to Instagram, taking over someone's Instagram stories so that maybe they just put their photos into some Google Drives and you can just go in, pull them, put together a nice caption from that audio snippet they sent you last week of them talking about something, and wham, bam, boom, you can take control of their social media channels for them, but it still sounds authentic to them. On that same regard, also engagement. So engagement on Instagram is huge. This is how business owners are able to expand their Instagram and get more and more followers and grow their accounts with engagement, but it has to be real engagement, not fake bot engagement. And so they hire virtual assistants just to go in and as them and go and engage with posts and people that would be of some, like would be an ideal follower for them. It's strategic engagement is a better word for it. So those are 2 skills that would be really valuable to someone, even if all they handed over was the social media part of their business. Think about how much time that would free up. I mean, it's honestly at least probably 1 to 2 hours per day that they're spending on it, minimum. I spend a lot more than that, and that's just me. And I have a team, so I can't imagine somebody who doesn't have anybody. So that's another really, really valuable skill. Another one we get asked for a lot is PR. So PR is short for public relations, and there's a whole niche of people that are trying to get in speaking engagements. They want to get on this panel of experts for this talk, or there's a conference for military spouses and they want to be one of the people to give the talk. There's all these podcasts that they want to be on. There's magazines that they want to get into. They don't necessarily need to hire a PR agency to do that for them. They really just need to hire someone who knows how to research the best ones that go along with their business, can use some great research and templates to pitch to the magazine. Hey, I think my client would be a great fit for you. Here's why. Here's some ideas for stories. And then the key to this job is just following up, because these people are busy that you're writing to at magazines and stuff. And so as the VA, you're the person who can follow up until it's finally in the magazine. And then you can let the client know, hey, you're in the magazine. So now we can add the Forbes logo to your website, or let's announce it on your Facebook channels. Do you see how much work that just the PR piece of a business is for somebody? So being able to hand that off to someone, and everything I listed you can learn. It's not hard to send an email, following up is easy. Another one that we get asked for a lot is kind of what I call program management, but it's not necessarily program management because not everybody who needs this runs online programs like I do, but it's really managing somebody's CRM and their email management systems. So for example, when somebody joins my 90-day VA program, they get marked we have this nice big CRM. It just looks like a giant spreadsheet. And it says what their name is, what their address is, what their join date is, what their Instagram handle is. And if I do any group coaching with them, then it would say, things they're struggling with, kind of thing. So it's just about them. And then there'll be an email system. Sometimes they're connected, sometimes they're not. There'll be an email system that says, hey, this person purchased 90-day VA. Don't send them any more marketing emails about it. So a lot of that is automated, but a lot of it isn't always automated. It takes updating, and somebody might email in something, you want to go in and update it. Maybe they change their payment forms. You got to change that. So managing and just keeping a CRM updated of people who have ever purchased anything ever from your client's company or the business that you're working for can be hugely valuable for them, because we don't want them to get the wrong thing. We don't want them to be unhappy. We don't want their customers to be receiving things they're not supposed to receive. So managing that kind of stuff. And then even just sending out those emails. So I write pretty much all of our emails, but I don't want to have to take the time to put it into the system, add the emojis in, add the links in, put the pictures in, make sure it's going to the right people, and then schedule it. That takes like an hour. So I just write the copy and then I give it to one of my virtual team members, and then they do the rest. So that's something that you could do as well as a virtual assistant, is just supporting someone in getting emails sent out to everybody for whatever it may be. And then the last one, the other big niche that we get a lot of requests for right now, is podcast support. Everyone and their mom is launching a podcast. If you're not familiar with podcasts, you can get them on iTunes. They have some on Spotify, and it's basically just like an episode by episode radio show, okay? But anybody can start one, and so everybody is. But that is a lot of work. So let me just run you through some of the things that you would have to do as a VA, or the business owner is doing themselves, and you can take it over. So first of all, pretend I'm the business owner. First, I record the episode. Then I have to edit the episode. Then I have to upload it to the right platforms. It's not just one, it's usually multiple platforms. Then I have to listen to it and put together some show notes, like an outline, so that people can go and look at it. Anything that I talked about that we need a link for, I gotta put that together. And then I have to put that all on the website. Then, not done yet. Then I have to make social media like announcements. So like little images for Instagram stories, and one for my social media posts, and then some for the Facebook page. And I have to make them all up in a cute graphic. Okay, still not done. Then I have to write the copy that goes along with each one for one episode. And then I have to schedule it all to the different social media platforms. Do you see how much work that was? I refuse to do it all. So what you could provide to someone as a virtual assistant, let's pretend I'm the business owner still and you come in as a virtual assistant. I record the episode and then I say, here you go, VA. And then you do the editing, you make the social posts, you put together the show notes, you get the links, you get it all up, and then it's done. And then meanwhile, I just get to record more episodes. Also, this can connect with PR in that you're helping to manage the guests. So if they're going to have a guest on, it takes time to schedule all of that out, make sure the guest has the right microphone, make sure the time works for both of you. Maybe you're going to have a lot of people writing in that they want to be a guest on this person's podcast. Maybe they have a really popular podcast, and you have to kind of comb through all of those and see, okay, these ones, none of these make sense. Here's the ones that I think would be good guests for you. Let's set something up with them. And you see what I'm saying? There's a lot that goes into a podcast, and that's just one aspect of someone's business. The podcast isn't everything they do. That's just one thing. And so if you can come in and help them with a lot of the pieces of it, it will free them up to do more podcast episodes, but also other pieces of their business that are really, really important. So podcast support is a really big part of this too. All right, so now let's talk about some of the tools, the top 5 tools that we get requests for that you want to know as a virtual assistant. The number one would be actually for you as a VA, would be FreshBooks. I highly recommend FreshBooks, and here's why. I used it for the first year or two of my business. I loved it. And it used to be, I think it was free for one client. I'm not sure the deal they have now, but I know I have a free 30-day trial if anybody wants to try it. But the reason I like it is because you actually can put in who your clients are, what the projects are that you're working on. So it's like, let's say that for a client, you do writing, you do social media posts, and you do email for them. So you can actually put, and you have 3 clients. So you can say, okay, Rebecca, client 1, I do email, writing, and you can have all of that in the timer. And so then if you're charging by the hour, or you just want to know how long stuff takes you because you want to know what to charge, if you charge flat rates, is you can actually time yourself according to the client and according to the tasks that you were doing. It's amazing. And then at the end of the month, when it's time to send them the invoice so you can get paid, it just is one click of a button. You say, okay, I'm sending the invoice to Rebecca, and all that time tracking just goes right onto the invoice. And then you can send them the invoice, and all the payment options are built into the invoice. So they can pay by credit card, they can pay by debit, they can pay by bank transfer, or they can pay by PayPal. It depends what you have set up. But all those buttons go to the client and they're right on the invoice. They can click, okay, credit card, and then it pops open the credit card portal and they can pay right there. So professional, so high-end looking, so clean, so easy for you as the service provider, so easy for them as the client. You're gonna get your money faster than traditional methods because FreshBooks has usually worked out agreements with different banking companies and stuff. It was a lifesaver for me, so helpful. So I love FreshBooks. I'm a huge advocate for them. Another big popular ones, it's actually 2 now, is Asana and or Trello. If you've never heard of them before, they're actually project management tools. They're similar and different in different ways. And some clients use Trello, some clients use Asana. They're both free, so you can just get on there and play around and learn about how to use them. Start to organize your own life and your stuff. So then when you have a client that wants to hire you or a business that wants to hire you, even if it's full-time, they might want you to know Asana because that's how they keep everything organized in their business. And then they can assign tasks to you. So they could say, okay, here's the podcast audio. And then you would have tasks assigned to you of what to do with that podcast audio. And you could just check them off when you're done. So then the client can always kind of know what's going on. Just as an example. Another popular one, you know, I was talking about emails and emailing people and making sure that people are getting the right emails. Like you guys probably get our Friday emails with all the jobs. Those take a lot of work to put together. And the way that we do that is with a software called ConvertKit. Now, ConvertKit unfortunately is not free, but it's about $30 a month. But you wouldn't pay that as the virtual assistant. The business that you work for would be the one who would pay for that software. And in it, it's pretty easy to use, but like that's another software that we just get a lot of requests for, is how to schedule the emails properly and how to tag people properly and all that kind of stuff. And then the last 2 would be, one is called Canva, which is a free, easy graphic design tool. It's all online, it's super easy. They do have a mobile app, but it's not as great. It's really hard to use with your fingers. So I highly recommend the computer version. It's amazing. It comes with free stock photos. You can do so much with it. They even have their own free little tutorials. So Canva is a very powerful tool that you can make those graphics and different things for a client. And then the last one would be Buffer. So now that you've made a whole bunch of great podcast images, you don't want to just have to log into Instagram every single time you want to schedule one, right? So Buffer is a great social media tool. It is free for the first 3 accounts that you link to it. And then from there, depending on the business, you might pay for it if you're managing 5 different people's Instagram accounts, or you just work for one business and they pay for it for you and you log into their Buffer and you schedule posts onto there. But what you can do is you can upload the graphic, you can put the words, the caption that's going to go with it. You can pick, okay, I want this to go to my Facebook group, and then you would schedule the date and time that you want it to go. So just once a month you can get in and schedule all your stuff that you've been working on. Client can kind of go in and make some tweaks if they want or not, and then it's all just done and you're done. So those are the top tools that we get requests for. Those are the top things I recommend learning. And those are the top niches that are really growing right now and that we always have requests for. And I mean, that wouldn't even necessarily be 5 different jobs. Like it wouldn't be like, okay, I do podcasting for this person and I do Instagram engagement for this person and PR for this one. Like most clients would actually want you to do a little bit of everything. So it's okay if you know how to do lots of stuff. And then eventually if you decide, you know what, I really just want to do content repurposing, this is what I want to do, then that's fine. You could eventually just really hone in on that. But a lot of people would love to hire a jack of all trades who can do all kinds of stuff. So it's normal for the first while to be able to do lots of things for someone. All right, so you might be wondering, how the heck Can I learn this stuff? How can I be able to do this? Everything that I just went through and more, not so much the podcast, but the content repurposing aspect of podcasts, is all included in 90-Day VA. Seriously, everything I listed and more is all in there. We actually step-by-step teach you how to do each of these things. So if you're serious about wanting to be a virtual assistant and you want to get the top requested skills that are out there, then 90-Day VA is probably the wise next step for you. So I teach those software programs that I talked about. I teach the different how to do content repurposing and posting and strategic engagement. We have a whole module on PR from a PR agency owner. She made it for the girls in the group, in the program. I teach ConvertKit, like all this stuff is in there. So I highly recommend, if you haven't checked out the syllabus yet for 90-Day VA, check that out. I'll put the link in the comments so that you can see if it makes sense for you and to help you take your next step in your online career. But for now, I hope that you enjoyed learning about the different skills that are really popular right now, and that you learn about the different tools that virtual assistants really should know and be able to use. Honestly, no matter the job, they're all probably going to come into play. So if this was helpful for you, I would love to hear that. So drop me a comment, let me know, share this with a friend who's thinking about doing virtual assisting, and then any questions that you have, I'll answer them. Just drop them in the comments, and I would love to chat with you more about how virtual assisting could work for you.